Hey up, how do, and welcome to our fourth and final chat today of Loose Lips. If you're new to this, I'm Ben Random. I'm the host, the creator of this. It started probably 2 weeks into lockdown because I wanted to connect people, around the globe, speak with different people from different walks of life, and just the people who come into contact through listening to it to uplift and raise their spirits, and also just bring through a vibe, man. So yeah. Then it snowballed and we did 47 episodes in the first series. So if you want to catch any of the first series, you can do that by going to YouTube, going to Pop Cult Chic, or likewise on Instagram, go to pop.cult.chic. You can see the entire first series there. Now we're into series 2, and as I say, this is the fourth feature, and today we spoke with Kylie Weldon, who is a model down in Australia, just down the road, like down in the Brisbane, Australia. Then we spoke with Waff, who is DJ, producer, and all-around funny guy and spiritual guy. Give that a check, definitely. Then we just spoke with Leon from Too Many Teas, speaking to him about his UK rap duo, him and Ross. Definitely worth seeing live. They're a real cool, live, interactive, bubbly personality within the world of UK rap and hip hop. So definitely give them a check as well. And then right now we're just going to be waiting for Jay Carter. And then as soon as she's in the group, we'll be able to connect, let technology do its thing, and then we'll be able to have our live chat commence. I'm going to post this here. I'm going to pin this bad boy. Oh yeah, pin the comment. And it's pinned. And it's pinned just in time. Now Jay's come through as well. Here we go. Shout out to the Shawn Michaels t-shirt.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi!
How are you getting on?
Yeah, all right. I'm sat in the sun, so I can't really see, but it's really nice.
No, I agree. In the last chat, we were just saying we were in the sun as well, and it was proper like just basking through, and it's like, well, I don't not want to have the sun. I'm just all in the sun. I felt like Dennis Rodman, like at certain points. Like I always do with the hair. Oh, no one needs to see that. But like, yeah.
The old lockdown hair. Don't
Fully
talk about that.
Lockdown hair. Like it's one of them where like I go through phases every sort of like 2-3 years where I might like not get a haircut for like extended 2-week period, and I'm like, I'm gonna grow a fro. A fro.
Yeah.
And then it lasts for another week, and then it's like, nah. But I have ever since I've always had like an afro comb, and that is the greatest accessory at the moment within the lockdown is the afro comb.
Yeah, in the beard soon, you know.
It is, I'll tell you, sometimes, yeah, the beard's getting on as well. It is, yeah. The true victim. It's got to look at that though. Like, if you ever
It's impressive. I could actually see. Yeah. I could sit in the
Nah, sit in the sun. Sit in the sun. I'm not gonna. No.
Got to make the most of it, haven't you?
100%. Like,
this is England.
Where are you based?
I'm in London normally, East London, but I'm actually for a bit in at the Rent's house in the countryside. You can probably hear birds. Can you hear birds?
Yeah, I can hear them tweeting.
Yeah, I just come here because there's fields, and I'm such a field person at heart.
I hear that. That's where you feel that you're most calm and centered.
Yeah, it's weird. As soon as you stand in a field, it's like, oh, you know what? Nothing's that bad.
Do you take your shoes off as well? Do you like getting grounded?
Yeah. Bit of a hippie that way.
I respect that. That's what it's about. That's exactly what it's about.
How about you? Are you London? You're London.
No. With this accent,
no.
Well, London could never prize me away from the promised land of Yorkshire.
Big up the tea.
Yeah, you know that. Do you know do you watch Friends?
Of course.
Thank you. Sometimes I ask that and people say, that's the only reason I ask it is because there's 2 people that have said no to me, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with that, like, information. Other than where, like, yeah, how can you not like Friends? But apparently there's a Yorkshire tea home. What do you call it? Like a tea home. What do you call it?
A tea bag?
No, not a tea bag. So like, the tea goes into the tea bag, and then the tea. No, what does it live in before it goes into in a cupboard?
Oh, okay, yeah, just like a
tin. A tin. We'll call it a tin. A tea tin.
I prefer tea home.
I like tea home, but there's a tea home in Monica's flat. the Yorkshire TT home.
Is there really? I didn't know
Yeah, you
that.
see, it would have
Ah,
struggled for me to
facts.
explain, but that reaction was worth it.
There you go. Might as well finish the chat now. You've had what you wanted.
That's it. That's it. Yes. Good night. Good night. No, bless you. So, how are you finding lockdown?
Yeah, do you know what? It's weird. It is weird. It's I'm kind of getting a bit more settled into it now. When we first started, I just kept drinking, just just like wine on the weeknights, so much of it, and at the
What do you put
weekends.
that down to? Do you think because I was the same, but I felt it was going to be over quicker, so it were almost like, yeah, I'll just net these bevs.
Got them in the house, might as well.
Exactly.
I don't know. I think it's just because you're used to, like Friday and Saturday would come, and I would just be like, I can't go out. I
Yeah.
might as well. It was just, it kind of calmed you down in a way. I don't know. But now it's kind of like, well, each night is like, well, what should I do tonight? And there's a mad list of things to do. So it's just like, now it's just getting on with that, I suppose.
Have you been super productive then? Like a lot of the behind the scenes sort of back of house stuff.
Yeah. Weirdly, I was like, how did I have time to do this before? Because
Yeah.
where did the. Well, I guess I didn't because I just never used to sleep. Whereas now I'm actually getting some sleep, which is definitely a bonus to everything that's happening. But yeah, just like radio shows and recording mixes, and then I used to spend so much time just searching for promoters and hitting them up. And now I've got like this big long list of promoters that obviously don't need to spend time messaging them at the moment. So just making music now.
I love that. I love that because I've been doing a lot of like reflecting as well. And there'd be times when I'd be up till crazy hours when I didn't have like a computer at mine. So I'd be sneaking into my local uni's library and doing all nighters there and stuff. And it's mad like when you again, this sort of back of house stuff. And it's like, I'm going to stay up till 4, like typing emails out and coming to all
Yeah,
this. And it's like, used to do that without thinking about it. Like, yeah, fully get involved. So it is mad.
literally.
It is mad where you're willing to put the time. And like you say, now that the time's still there, now you can put it into mixes and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And also just getting better, just practicing,
Yeah.
which I never, I used to practice while I was playing at a gig. I'd like try something out and be like, thank goodness it worked.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, Jesus, nice sweaty DJ set. Whereas now it's
That's
like,
why the sweat's there because of the risk taken.
literally, I mean, it keeps it exciting, but now it's nice to actually know how to use certain effects or whatever in a proper way.
I respect that. That's so funny because
So,
it's so true. I'm like that. I'm with that honesty. Would you say your mixes at the moment are reflective of the time that we're in? Like, would you say that you sort of play into that mood?
good question. I'd say probably not because I've always had two main kind of strings to my sound. One of which is, I'm actually sweating now. I should probably get out the sun. One of which is literally like being in a sauna. So House of Card is my radio show that's very kind of down tempo, chilled, ambient stuff, and that I've just continued, and like the listening numbers on that have gone up massively. That I've noticed, which is kind of nice. But I've always done that. I've done that for longer than I've done even the club music. So when it just comes to recording a mix, I kind of just go with whatever like the brief is or the promoter is or whatever.
So they are sort of for places that the mixes that you're doing. It's not just ones for your own back. There are going to like compilations or for
Yeah,
specific brands.
yeah, it's been good actually. Like I did one for London Warehouse Project just last week. That was good. Obviously, that's more like rah, banging. Just imagine you're in a warehouse, close your eyes and try really hard. And then I've done one like mainly for the parties I was supposed to be playing. So they've asked if there was a party I was supposed to be playing in Edinburgh called Can You Dig It? Big up to Eva Crystal Tips. They asked me to do a mix, so I kind of did what I would play there. But I guess that one was actually more kind of like, it was like clubbing but for horizontal listening.
Yeah. I agree. I love that. where you can sort of like lean over and grab your beb and give it one of those, but you're still like horizontal.
Literally, that's exactly it. You can just through a straw. Just
Yeah, just
have a
like
little.
crooking your neck, just like.
Yeah, exactly. So kind of. But yeah, in general, it's been quite good actually. Been this kind of steady flow of stuff, and obviously the radio shows just keep doing. I have the chilled one. Sorry, House of Carder is fortnightly, and then I have one that's kind of club based, and that's monthly. So still doing the interviews, still doing all that, but just over the phone, obviously.
I like that. Someone's posted through, they've quoted it, horizontal listening, Jay Carter.
Yes.
I love that. That's
Oh,
a good term. It is a good term.
check
You
this
know,
guy
like,
out. Who's gonna check his music out? Head run.
you know, oh, is that a mate?
Yeah, yeah. You got Head run from India. Check his
Shout
music.
out,
It's
shout out.
so good. Big up.
Well, yeah. So the sort of down tempo music you play, it's worldly music as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of a bit of everything. It's just I try. I don't really know what genre it would be, but it's more kind of the feeling you get of just like. I mean, I guess this sweating in a sunset
Yeah.
while with a gin or something. That kind of really chilled. It's like instrumental hip hop and then ambient stuff and um, just lots of stuff from India. Hence, good old Palash. Hi. Um, because there's so much good stuff being made in bedrooms out there. It's insane, and it's so nice to give it a platform. I do it through a promoter called Wavelength, who's based in Mumbai, I think. So, like, it's amazing the music that people are just making on their laptops and just putting it on SoundCloud. It's like, oh my goodness, this is like, and because it's kind of got all different influences to what we'd have over here. So,
Like the sitar.
occasionally, yeah, not always. Often it's just very electronic heavy, but man, I love a sitar. Love
I
it.
proper love a sitar. I was watching on YouTube one of the gurus teaching George Harrison how to play it. Like, and he was just picking it. It was calming. It was very calming.
Oh, what? Where is that? Just I need to watch
I'll
this.
send you it. I'll send
Yeah,
you it.
please.
I'll send you it. No, but I was on about George Harrison in the last chat as well. Like, he's my favourite Beatle. He's a cool brother.
He's a good Beatle.
He's a good
Yeah.
Beatle. He is. No, so what you know when you're going through like that music, because I suppose when you're going down the rabbit hole and you're finding music, it's quite specific where you're picturing like, right, that'll work at that time on a dance floor, or that'll go with that, or it's got something with it which will give it a bit of an edge. But with this music, it's almost like, is it a sensation that you feel where you're like, right, that's what I want to give to people? Because there's a lot of like, I don't know if this is my uncultured ears, but there's a lot that can sound similar, but there's a lot that
Yes,
can break through as well. And the ones that break through really put me at a place.
definitely. Like I think it's interesting you should ask that question because for me, like I don't ever categorize my music for sets in terms of like what genre it is or even how fast it is. It's for me, I have like before every DJ set, I do a playlist that I kind of think that I want to play from. Could have like hours and hours of songs in there, but ones that I'm digging, and then I'll categorize it into like starting tracks, building tracks, like bangers, and then kind of moving back tracks. And it's always those moving back tracks that I think are the ones that give you that slightly kind of elated feel. And throughout the set, I'll just like go up and just make humps basically, build it up, throw some bangers, bring it back, build it up, throw some bangers. And that's just how I've always done it. And it could be all sorts of genres, but because it gives you that feeling of like, oh, we're building something, or fuck, this is a banger, so that's exactly how I make playlists.
Like the tide.
Yeah, it is. It comes in waves, man.
So how did you get into DJing?
Man, it kind of happened by accident. I just basically was really into radio. I like studied to be a journalist and then like trained to be up to be that because I like writing. I do bits of writing here and there. And then spent 2 weeks at the Daily Mail and was like, no, I can't. I can't. This is not
What
for
was
me.
that like? Let's pause on that for a moment. I bet that could be a whole chat in itself. Like, what was that
Yeah.
like?
It was just I don't know, it's just egos, and also it was kind of it's run by very clever people, but they know they're
So
so
they do know
clever, you
how
know,
they're
they know what
pulling
they're
the
doing.
strings.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, it wasn't for me. So then tried a bunch of other things, went into film for a bit, but radio and music I've always wanted to do, but I don't know, there's something about it. I think because I wanted to do it so much, I didn't let myself do it. I don't know what kind of psychological blockage that is, but that's how it was. And then eventually I got a job through, well, I emailed XFM just randomly to their info at and was like, can I come and join your show? Like, can I just come and sit in on one of the shows? And miraculously, they got back to me. And the producer of the show at the time was a Saturday, it was like John Holmes and Saturday Breakfast. So I was there at 4 a.m. like, oh. But yeah, and then I got into radio through that, started working at Virgin Radio, and then got my own show at Soho Radio. And I basically just wanted my show to sound good. So I asked a mate if he could teach me to mix. And then once I discovered that, I was just like, oh, Jesus.
Just gone.
This is it. I've found my thing.
The
finally.
Holy Grail.
Yeah. So I haven't looked back since. That was like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago.
That's it. So you've made leaps and bounds in that time then.
Yeah, do you know what? I genuinely think when you find your path that sometimes some things will just happen naturally. It's
like an arrow.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I was very, very fortunate that because I'd entered competitions and stuff, but literally in my 3rd year of DJing, I won a competition for Artwork, DJ Artwork.
Yeah.
So he's my mentor. So I won this competition,
Wow.
and he started mentoring me, and so he's like been putting a good word out, and he got me to play at a lot of his events, and that really, really helped. And it's just kind of been building on that. And obviously just make sure that every single gig you play is 100% people remember it.
What an incredible mentor to have. Like, I think he could be like the pinnacle of it, because like he's at such a level where he's still grounded and like obviously like like he's still involved with it. He still plays incredible sets. He's still wanting to be super creative with his green screens on his live streams.
Oh,
he's super funny. Like, he don't take himself too seriously, but he's serious about what he does. Like, yeah, what a mentor.
He's amazing. And, it was so good at the beginning to just have someone. Like, I had quite a big gig in the diary and then it just got pulled. And I was like, is this what happens? I could just text him and be like, this has happened. What, help. And he was like, just sometimes that happens or whatever. So he's such a lovely man. And yeah, complete jokes. Like, so much fun.
Do you know that he was an extra in People Just Do Nothing?
I did not know this. Oh,
Watch it back, right? It's so subtle. I was like, I was watching it, and then there's a moment, I won't ruin it, but there's a moment I'm like, no. And like, that's the levels of the man. I'm like, he's doing that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm a fan. That's sick. So when obviously he backed you then, was that something that, again, gave you a bit more confidence in this is the right path, this is where I'm going?
Yeah, massively. Because, the competition was send in a mix and pick who you wanted to mentor you. Because there were 5 different mentors.
What was it through?
It was through Smirnoff. They did it was like Smirnoff Equalising Music campaign. Do you remember it?
That, yeah.
And yeah, and I picked him because I was just like, this man's jokes, and I'm used to growing up with jokes. My whole family would just prank each other and stuff. So it was like, and yeah, the fact that he chose my mix, and then, we had a day session with him in the studio, and he was like, well, obviously you can mix. Like, he's like, don't have to worry about that. So I don't know, it's just always, yeah. And then I've played with him a few times since, and he's been so super supportive. And yeah, he's just such an amazing person to know.
Is there any other mentors or people out there who look kindly towards you?
Yes. Do you know what? I've been really fortunate because the year after Artwork, I entered another competition, Pirate Studios. Because I think, this is how you just got to keep entering stuff. You've got to keep emailing people. I mean, not to the point of being annoying, but just connect with people, invite them on the show. Yeah, enter competitions. And I won that one to be a pirate prodigy. Out of, there's 3 of us that are, well, it was for 2019. I don't really know if it's going to continue, but anyway, that's kind of run by Pirate Studios and fronted by Plastician. So he's been really helpful. Just like putting me in front of rints and stuff like that, and places that, you know, just trying to get the name out there. And like, he's just started a label, and he's been so helpful with just emailing like, "Oh, Chris, what's happening? How do you distribute? Please," and just any question, he's so helpful. And yeah, so there's him and Arthur been, and then obviously just I'm part of a crew called Four to the Floor, and they've been there from the very beginning. I met them at the radio when I was learning to mix. They taught me to mix, so they've been there throughout, and they're just like such good people to be around.
Were they influential in the path that you went down with the more of the underground clubby music that you play?
Yeah, massively.
Because that must be so day and night, from XFM breakfast show, which must have been so like indie like
right?
led, and then boom, like playing what you're playing.
Well, that's it. So I've always been interested in electronic music, but it was like, get a job in radio, whatever station I can get. And there was a point when I was working on the breakfast show at Virgin Radio, so with what's his face, big dude. Oh, this is bad. I can't remember his name. The one that everyone...
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans. Do you know why? Because I'm sat here sweating in the sun. I can't remember anything.
I like that. Is that his nickname, the big dude? The
big dude. Yeah, he's pretty big. But anyway, I was working on that show, which for people that work in radio is quite a pinnacle.
That's the Mecca, I'd say, one of them.
But it just wasn't for me, you know. That wasn't what I wanted to do. Wasn't the music I was interested in. So yeah, kind of dropped that and hoped for the best. Found some other jobs. I do lots of random jobs to fund the dream. Lots of little bits here and there, bits of writing and stuff.
Writing on songs?
No, okay. Weirdly, writing for like for brands. So at the moment, I do all the social media for Linda McCartney vegetarian sausages.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've done like Whole Earth peanut butter and Clipper tea bags. Sorry, not Yorkshire.
Ah, no, whoa.
What?
I'll let you off with the McCartney reference. I thought we know your favourite Beatle is now, don't we? But I thought I'll allow that. But...
Well, is there depends if there's a video of Paul learning the sitar, because...
But for what? So is that another one of your skills then, copywriting?
Yeah, that's just what I do to pay the bills and, fund the dream, basically.
How do you merge the two? Like, is you ever get caught down a rabbit hole where you're on a vibe with, I'm just in that zone of tunes, and it's like, well, I've still got a break off to do that? Or are you able to be quite, is it quite free with the other time? Can you bulk hit it in one? Do they send you assignments and you can be like, right, I'm going to blitz all them and then, yeah, done exactly?
Yeah. I mean, it depends. It depends how much work there is. But like, every time I'm sat writing or doing work, I'm thinking, I want to be doing music, or I've started making music. So at the moment, it's just like, I just want to keep working on that project, But yeah, you just small rewards, do some work, have a chocolate bar, do some more work, and then you can go do your music. So
is it a good opportunity as well to play music while you're working? So a lot of the low chill stuff, or like, do the compliment?
Yeah. Although, do you know what I've found is that because I'm so zoned into or tuned into music, I can't really listen, and this is not great, especially wasn't when I was working in radio, but I can't really listen to music and do work, especially if it has lyrics in it. No way. But even if it's just a tune, if it's like this is a tune, then I'm immediately just distracted by it.
You want to see where it goes.
Yeah, it's just how my brain works. I can't write and listen, which is quite unhelpful, but
So what do you have on your background while you're working?
Nothing, most of the time. Or maybe a really minimal mix. But because if it's too interesting, or if there's a tune, I'm like, it's a tune, then that's it. I'm suddenly on Shazam or whatever.
Yeah. Shazam is mad for that. Like literally, any sort of TV show I'm watching, Shazam's at hand.
Literally. TV shows, really?
Yeah, honestly, there's like even some Netflix documentary or like anything that's popping off, and I'm like, Shazam's on that.
On it. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't really watch TV because I just don't have time for it. I don't even have a Netflix account, which is a bit mad. But I've got a list of TV programs that I need to watch for the soundtrack. Because everyone's been like, oh, the soundtrack on that is sick. So I'm like, right, I need to watch that then.
Fair. Which ones?
What's the main one recently? This I'm so bad with names. It was a really popular one. It had like a really cinematic beginning. It's not giving you much to go on here. I don't know. I'll remember it at one point, probably after this call, unhelpfully.
Just send me it, and I'll put it through. I'll send you the sitar, and you send me that.
Yeah, please, because yeah, I think a lot of thought goes into the music on these programs, and it's quite cinematic, and it's the kind of music that I actually play in DJ sets to make you feel something, as opposed to just like solid bang bang bangers.
Could you see yourself when you get into your producing a bit more? Could that be an angle, like producing film scores?
Maybe, yeah. I hadn't really thought about it, but yeah, because I do love that kind of like dreamy electronica sound. You know, like I guess my first foray into electronic music was through Bonobo's Black Sands album, and I was just like, this is next level. Can't even explain it, and ever since then, that's just been ingrained in my mind to be like, yeah, this is the music for me. So.
Christy's just put in the group saying Stranger Things.
Stranger Things!
Stranger
Yes!
Things.
Oh,
10
Christy!
points for Christy.
Hi!
Well played, well played.
Oh my god, as if you remember, you got that from my terrible description. It's like, oh yes, Stranger Things, that's the one. So that's on the top of the list.
Yeah. Good soundtrack.
Have you seen it?
Do you know what, right? I smashed through it, like, so my habit is that I have to watch everything in its entirety. Like,
Ooh.
yeah, I know.
It's a tricky habit.
yeah, no, it's crazy. Like, I did Game of Thrones in 10 days.
Are you serious?
Yeah, mate.
Did you
Honestly,
eat?
I was seeing dragons and everything, man. Like, because I do stand-up comedy, but I DJ as well, and I DJ in Manchester in the Northern Quarter. So I'd sometimes get the longer train because it's an hour and 24. So I'd get a full episode in. But if I were running late, I'd have to get the 50-minute train. So like the last 8 minutes of the episode, I'd be stood on the platform holding my laptop, just like watching dragons fly over. Just like I was locked in. I was locked in.
I was gonna say you were that guy, but then no one's that guy. just you. You're the only person doing that.
I'll take that. That is the levels. That is the dedication I have to it. Like, that is exactly it. But no, I think like it is a sick soundtrack. It's really like 80s synthy. It's almost like New Romantic.
Yeah, I've only heard the opening sequence bit, but I was like, right, I'm in. Top of the list. Get a Netflix account and watch Stranger Things.
Yeah, fully get involved. And they took the show on tour actually. They performed it at is it the Barbican?
Yes. Did they?
I'm glad I got that right. I
Barbican.
I was going to say Barbian, but that didn't sound right. Is it the Barbican?
The Barbican, yeah, in London, the like amazing kind of amphitheatre place.
Yeah, they took it there. They took it there a couple of years ago. They did the live score live. Otherwise, it would just been a score.
Score!
Yeah, I don't know if you saw my post, like the amount of times I put live in that post. I even put like, how many times am I putting live here? And now I've just done it live. Keep saying live too much.
Well, you've had a full day of interviews, right? That's a lot of living. Do you feel alive?
Well, that's it. Like, so yeah, I spoke with somebody in Brisbane, and then I spoke with Waff.
Nice.
That was that we go back, so we were able to catch up and have a good bit of a chat. And then Leon from Too Many Teas, who's in like a cool hip hop duo.
Yeah, I like Too Many Teas. I used to produce their radio show at Soho Radio.
Oh, no way!
Yeah, it's so, they're just such nice guys. They just come in and just be like, "Yeah, music." You know?
That's sick. That's synergy. That's the universe right now. I didn't know. That's class.
It's, do you know what? Soho Radio has been a real core of most things that have happened to me. I'm so grateful to that place, you know, because there's just so many amazing people coming in through the doors at all times, and just, and I do production there as well, basically just so I can spend more time there.
And hang about there.
Hang about, yeah. And there's just like, that's where I met James Lavelle, who I'm now doing some nights with. Well, hopefully we'll be doing some nights with. And just also just people that aren't necessarily names, but they're so into their music that you can just sit in their show for 2 hours and learn like everything. It's amazing. One of the guys I produced for was, his job was to organise all the records in Giles Peterson's house. That's his full-time job. He's just there like Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, organising records. And it was like, yeah, I'm doing the Brazilian room on Thursday. So fucking great.
That is the, like, you couldn't even make up that job, and yet now that you've said it exists, it's like, yeah, of course, Giles Peterson has someone to go through his record collection like that. How many do you reckon he has? How many records do you reckon he has?
God,
More than 20,000.
He's got a whole house. He's got a whole house for them, and then he lives in a different house. So I don't know, probably more. Maybe over 100,000. Who knows?
Whoa.
I can't even imagine what that looks like.
He's a cool guy, Giles Peterson.
Yeah, I don't really know him, but he seems cool.
Does that guy get to bring Giles's records and play them on his show?
No, I don't think so. I think because he's got his own, like, he's obviously also a massive digger and into records and stuff. So he just has his own collection, but because I think he was doing like a Brazilian show actually. So he was hired by Giles because he was so knowledgeable in that area. So he's like, "Oh, great, you can come organise my records." Great.
That is class. What's it like meeting the likes of James Lavelle? I've actually got this is such a geeky fact. When he was like about 2005, 2006, he did a collaboration with Bathing Ape, and he released a rare purple camo Bathing Ape shirt. I've got one of 10.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you ever wear it?
Yeah, and you know what happened? Like,
you shrunk it? No.
No, I didn't shrink it, but my mum put it in wash, and it had this like weird. It had this weird ring around it, and I'm able to style fashion, so I get away with it. But I look at it and I know.
I like that. Disclaimer: I can style myself. If there's, like,
I can't let that go. Trust me. I looked at it and I was like, I can't let this go. I was like, come on, just rock it. And then I rocked it. I think I wore it at a warehouse project, and everyone was like, oh yeah, it's on. I was like, got away with it.
There you go. It's dark in there anyway.
In fact, and this is the last like big ups of it, right? But I was at a festival and Pharrell were playing on stage, and I had my NERD cap, the yellow one, and he looked over and he saw it and he looked at me. I was like, oh, cheers, mate, because I'm well Yorkshire. I was like, cheers, pal. And then he still stared, and I was like, this is weird. And then he went, oh, your shirt, meaning the James Lavelle shirt. He went, looks at the shirt like that and went. I was like,
oh, nice. Okay,
we're winning.
kudos.
We're winning. But
good.
yeah, what's it like? What's the potential collaboration on the agenda with him?
It was, so basically he's been on my show twice. I did an interview about his most recent album, and then the second time was to promote a series of shows we were going to do together, which is at the Social in London.
Yeah.
Most people, it's not really on the radar for a lot of people, myself included, but it's got this crazy history. There was like Chase and Status would do DJ sets down there and stuff. It was kind of mad, tiny little underground venue with a banging sound system.
Yeah, the Social's connected to the Bar in the Park stage at Glastonbury.
Oh, is it? Ah.
I forgot, at Stonebridge. Is it Stonebridge?
I don't know.
The link's with them. But yeah, Social's big in the game.
It wasn't really on my radar for some reason. And then when I played there, I was like, oh, okay, this should have been on my radar. I think it's just because it's in Soho, you know, and it's, you know, not really where you'd expect to go out and find quite niche music.
Yeah, I
But
hear you.
yeah, and then he was doing a show there and invited me to come support. And then after the show, it was so lovely. It was just like, oh, you were playing really weird music. I loved it. He was there like shazamming my tracks. I was like, this is great.
That's a
So
compliment, that.
yeah, I know. So anyway, we just connected, and he planned in another 3 months worth, which was supposed to start in May. So May, June, July. I don't think any of them are going to, I mean, no, none of them are going to happen. But hopefully we can go back to it. Hopefully the social will still, like, there's just so many venues that might not make it through this, you know. But
Well, they were struggling before, not through audience, but I think I seem to remember they put like a pledge out because of, I don't know if it was gentrification or whatever, like, and I heard that they were looking to close the place down a few years back, and I
really,
think a petition like helped it remain. So it has that cool edge. I pray like it survives, because yeah, like you say, there's a lot of small to medium venues that are probably going to feel it at the moment. But then again, once everything's lifted, they should be the ones to benefit, because it'll feel like the smaller capacity size places will be the ones to flourish a bit more.
yeah. And this is what I'm hoping for, you know, that the parties will just become really small, intimate, but just the energy will be up here, you
Yeah.
know. That night we played together was, it was all sorts of people, all ages. Some people, obviously most people came to see him, but there are a few of my mates there as well. And it was just so nice to play music that's almost like stuff you'd listen to in your headphones, but people were loving it, you know. It was just great. So to kind of, oh, it'd be so good to get back, get back playing. And yeah, it sounded good as well. The guy was like, oh yeah, I had to take a subwoofer out because of the neighbours. And but switched the system on. I was like, Jesus, that blew me over almost. Like, what was it like with two subwoofers? So yeah, they know their stuff.
What's it like when you're playing alongside like at someone's night like that? Are you freeing yourself to play your unique style, or do you sort of like tailor it until you're feeling it and then go full halt ahead with it?
Good question. I mean, I guess the same for what I do for any night is just I'll spend however many weeks before just collecting tunes, putting them into a playlist that is overarching. Like, because obviously James Avell, that kind of sound is, you know, it's a bit more like psychedelic. It's not just house music, or it's, you know, it's a bit of everything. I started off playing hip hop, so I kind of amalgamated that folder, and then again just put it into the like starting tracks, warm up tracks, peaking it, you know. And I only, because I was warming up for him, I only even used my warm up track folder, but everything in there was kind of interesting. And same for every gig. Like I played at Night Tales recently with like an Afro house night, so all the tracks were much more house based, and not just all Afro house, because I don't personally think I can get away with just playing all Afro house, as I'm not from Africa, but just everything that's kind of house based but really interesting bass lines and lots of shakers and stuff. So yeah, there's some waffle.
No, I respect that. I respect that. So you show your versatility to the different scenes that you play. Because I suppose sometimes if you've been asked to play, you can fall into that like that void really of trying to impress somebody through their style, trying to mimic what their style is, because you think, oh, they've asked me, I might try to play on their night at their style. But obviously they're not asking you on that for that. So I just wondered if you sometimes, because it'd be understandable if people do that, especially with a name like James Lavelle, but holding your own, like that's it's more substance really, isn't it, in what you're about, and the versatility of playing those sort of different parties.
I agree. I think, you know, it's always harder at the beginning as well, and people don't, and obviously still don't know my name. But if you can, I think you can kind of get them on your side if you give them a flavour of what you are mixed with kind of the night. Like if I I've stopped playing disco events because I don't really want to play disco. Or I'll play, you know, at a disco event, but I'll play me. Whereas when you first kind of get involved in that, it's like, oh, actually just go and play disco, but play a really good disco set, or, you know, don't play anything predictable. I don't know, it's a tricky one to put your finger on. I think because of the radio, I just have loads of different types of music going around at all times. So like for the warehouse project mix, I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure I know what I'm going to put in it already from my bangers folder. But they also did, you know, a good week's worth of searching around for other bits. So, and also it's nice, like, go to Manchester, play tracks that were from Manchester, or, you know, I did a bit of radio in Portugal, as I played loads of Portuguese artists that are based in London, you know, that kind of thing that just gives it a bit more substance.
Yeah, a bit more authenticity to it.
Yeah, it makes it interesting, doesn't it?
I respect that. How did you get the show at Soho Radio? Somebody asked.
So again, I emailed them. I was like, hi, Rachel, can I have a show? And she was like, no. Who are you? Like, and basically she was like, you know, come in, do a bit of production, see if you like it. And then after 6 to 12 months or whatever, if you're still good, then you can have a late night show or whatever. She didn't say that, but she implied it. So I did Fridays, voluntary production every Friday for like, I think it was about just under a year until that thing happened where the presenter didn't make it, and then they're like, oh, do you want to do the slot? And I was like, yeah.
How did you feel? Were you ready?
It was the sweatiest radio show I've ever done, ever. Even my socks were like, oh.
Just squidging about.
Yeah, just so like the nerves. But yeah, and then the guy that runs the station listened to it and liked it and was like, yeah, you can have. I used to do a show that started at midnight, finished at 2 a.m. on Wednesdays. Well, that was the original House of Carter time slot. So it was good for that kind of chilled music. But then I'd be like, you know, I couldn't do it forever because I'd do that show and then I'd have to do breakfast at Virgin Radio. So I'd like do the show at Soho and they kindly let me sleep on the sofa for 2 hours in the station and then I go straight to work. So it'd be like killing myself every Wednesday. But it was, you know, you do what you got to do when you love it, right?
Exactly, and when you look back at that with the fondness of it, that's the hustle, that's the dedication. I think that's what we were speaking about before, where you know you look back now and you think of the time that you've got to be able to be creative, but before, what you were willing to sacrifice with that time, you know, the hours that you were willing to put in that don't seem to make sense, but that completely make sense to the bigger picture.
Yeah, completely. It's been, but yeah. It's a good kind of journey when you know that's your path, whatever it is.
Where do you vision it going? Or where, in fact, if lockdown wouldn't have come in, where did you feel this year going? What was the sort of plan, the agenda?
It was definitely, I liked where it was going. It had obviously these shows with James, which were just, you know, just good to kind of really stretch the musical muscles. And then I was going to play Gotwood for the first time. Because I've always wanted to play there. I've never even been. I've always wanted to go every year and something's come up and I haven't been able to go. And then I finally got booked to play and I was like, oh, it's going to be amazing. But yeah, not that. And then I'd actually just started working, well, I was about to start working with management who were hopefully going to sort me out with a few bigger bits here and there. So that's all on hold, obviously, so I don't really know. But I'm just going to, you know, keep doing the radio shows, keep doing the mixes, and keep making tracks, I think. Because if I can come out of lockdown with an EP, what a bloody dream.
There you go. So the reason I asked that is, like, all those opportunities will still be there, but you will have bettered yourself. And also, if you've got, like, content to deliver as well, it shows that you've been active. Like,
it's true.
And what I've been asking everybody of recent is, do you view this time as pause or reset?
Oh, what a question. Um, Depends on what context. For the planet, reset. For us, uh, for me, and career, pause.
Fair,
Yeah, it's pause.
fair. I
I'm
give
like
you that.
ready. I'm so ready to get back into it.
I
Especially now I've
give
had
you
some
that. I
sleep.
give you that. That's a real good breakdown of it, because I think for the planet, 100% reset. I also think for society, it should be reset. But like you say, with the things that you've got on, yeah, you won't want to reset that. It's almost like a pause and pick up where you've left off with your career, and that's a good answer.
It was a good question, mate. Yeah,
Thank
definitely
you.
social reset, definitely. Hopefully, I think, and also I've been talking to a lot of people about the music industry because it's like, oh my god, what do you think about the music industry? Um, and lots of people have been saying, it became a machine. It was huge, and it was like you could only get in places if you knew certain people, and there's a small group of people running the whole thing. I mean, I never got close to really knowing any of that side of things, but I think going back to grassroots and also just less or fewer, is it less or is it fewer people flying constantly to gigs? Like, carbon footprint of DJs is insane. So yeah, hopefully that can change.
Yeah, true. We were speaking earlier, me and Waf, and I always, when DJs come on, and I'll pose it to you as well, I feel that there needs to be a refocus on the importance of residents, rather than just have a resident do a warm up and then have loads of different headliners come through at a certain night. I really feel like what will come out of this is the rebirth of the resident and the identity of a club night actually being in these lower capacity things. And I really think that that will be stronger for the music scene, or like the long lasting, be it economically, be it just coming up as a DJ. You want to feel like I remember residents that I saw that have gone on to do big things, and that's because the clubbers have supported him and seen him rise. And I
Mm.
sometimes think that that can be missed a lot of the times through production and just getting, oh, they'll sell out this venue because they've had a big hit, which is fair. There's no wrong in that.
Yeah,
But I do think there's more substance for me with the resident side of it. So I wonder, do you have an opinion or a view with that side of it?
I totally think that will happen. Like the residents, people that, because they're often really good selectors, they just
Exactly.
haven't necessarily got the right team around them, or they've got a full-time job on the side, or whatever. Um, it's the residents that are the ones that are there building those kind of relationships, I guess, with the crowd, or like
Yeah, the trust
the
through the
trust,
relationship,
yeah.
through the musical choices, 100%.
And I do think where there'll be less of a headliner, DJ is king, god, whatever you want to call it, culture. It will just be about whatever music you can get your stank face onto, like, and all the people that I've kind of connected with, having played, the last year. It's all just been through the music. No one's known who I am, but they've been there at the set. There's like a few key moments last year, like doing Artworks after party for his festival. It's like a whole room full of people just vibing so hard. Me and he mentors two people, me and Eva, and like they had no idea who we were, but the music was there and they were there for it, And then apparently loads of people were messaging him afterwards, like, who were those people? Like, so there, and then like Lost Village as well. There were some really lovely people that were just like, oh, my favourite set of the weekend, and it's stuff like that. Like you said at the beginning as well, really helps kind of build confidence and make you realise that actually you should be doing this. This is your thing, and it's only through they're the kind of people that will come to sets now, but only because they've been at another set, so they haven't come to see you. So the same for residents, they haven't come to see you, but
You
because
can
they've
hook him.
experienced, yeah, you can just play music they're going to love, well, you love, and hopefully it will transfer, is how it works. I hope.
That is exactly how it is, and that was properly poignant to wrap us up, I believe. Would you like to let people know where they can find a bit more out about you and find your radio shows?
Yeah, yeah. God, hi. Bring out the awkwards. Um, no, so I'm Jay Carter. You can follow me at Jay Carter DJ, and I have two radio shows on Soho Radio, House of Carter and The Spotlight. So House of Carter's all like chilled stuff, you know, instrumental hip hop, down tempo, stuff that you can smoke a spliff to, and Spotlight's more like underground club music, interviews, lots of new stuff coming out that's all like, you know, lots of Bristol bass and all that stuff. And yeah, there's a few mixes on my SoundCloud. It's all just at Jay Carter. So checking it out.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having
It's
me.
been a proper chill chat. And make sure you get a Netflix account.
Yeah, well, I need to watch Stranger Things. Now we can remember the name.
And also the episode of People Just Do Nothing, where you can tell me which one
Oh my
Artwork's
God.
in,
Yeah.
Arthur's in.
In fact, I'm probably going to do that right now. Do you have
Perfect.
any idea which episode? No.
I do. I think it's series 4, episode 2 or 3. It's when they go to Atlantic.
Okay. All right.
So
I'll just watch
it's when
the
they
whole
go to
episode.
Atlantic. So the Chubuddy G takes them to Atlantic to get like a record deal, and they're just chatting, and then obviously whatever happens, and then they go to another bit, and then that's where he rocks up. So keep an eye out.
That's amazing. All right. Nice one.
But
So good to chat.
Take care, and I'm glad that when it all kicks off, your pauses are play and big things come in.
Big love. Thank you.
Peace. I'll see you on the other side. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Jay Carter there, definitely a DJ to keep an eye out for, so make sure you follow her on her socials. Thank you, Palash, for getting involved, and thank you for your comments there as well. If anyone's new to this, I'm Ben Random. This is Loose Lips. It's been created to uplift people's spirits through this time, and connect with people all around the globe to just bring through those good vibes. So this is the second series. Today was feature 4. So if you want to find anything from our first series or any of the current chats that are going on in series 2, then go to YouTube and put in Pop Cult Chic, or likewise on Instagram, go to IGTV and go to pop.cult.chic. Other than that, I'll be back on Monday with more guests. Loose Lips runs every Monday and every Wednesday, so be sure to keep it locked and tuned in with me at Ben Random. Peace and light to you and yours.